You're listening to the RE Social Podcast with your hosts, Andrew and Vince from AnVi Invest. For more information, go to anviinvest.com.
Not even selling. And then you would say, for my profile and stuff, you would want me to stick with Southeast and go like Alabama. I like the Carolinas. I don't have anything there. Should I look there too, or?
Well, you're already, I mean, it sounds like you're already investing
Tennessee.
in the Southeast and some of these areas in new construction. So I think the asset class is congruent if that's something you're continually looking at. I think, it might be interesting for you to explore, some of the other areas where you don't have a presence. If you really like the midterm and some of the short-term hybrid stuff, like those are more unique markets, but I think that there's some stuff there that, I mean, a lot of the investors that buy those, they self-manage them and do them. But man, I've shared some success stories with us. They're cash flowing like crazy and loving it. And it's not being a too burdensome management process for them. But yeah, same thing. Like, there's some builders we have access to. Some of them will go up. I don't want to say this publicly, but some of them will go up to 17%, cash back at close or price reductions. So like that almost covers your entire down payment. And so if you're interested to just consider some of those, I mean, just drop me an email and we can talk about it, or, send you some resources on some of the inventory. You can look them up, see what you think.
No, I'll definitely look him up, man. I'm always down. So you're saying like if you have it advertised for 400, we can definitely do like 10, 15, something like that as credits at close, or is it already built in? How does that work? So I understand it.
It's property specific. Let me
Yeah.
And it's okay if I go a couple minutes over here. But
Okay.
This is our website. This is our homepage. Of course, we
Okay.
got our educational program. We got our inventory here. I will say one thing to mention: our wealth calculator. We had a software developer create this because this is something that we basically created because we couldn't find a calculator to do this. This allows you to track your portfolio
Nice.
of properties and performance, but it also allows you to forecast. In the next 10 years, this is just an
Nice.
example on here, but you can add your properties in here and go in and individually, track each one of these. If you wanted to say, look at one of these, you can tweak, whatever appreciation and cash flow numbers and expense increases, and it has an amortization scale. So anyways, you can go through and forecast and analyze, track, and forecast each individual property. But the main thing is looking at a portfolio as a whole. Allows us to say, all right, well, if I have these 6 properties in whatever 13 years, I'm going to be likely cash flowing per month this amount of dollars and have this much of equity, So this is something that just for a
Does it
forecast.
pull any market data, or you just input like 3 or 5% appreciation, right?
It's all
Okay.
manual. This is
Sounds
beta
good.
stage, but it's still public. So no integrations yet, but but something that I think is useful for a lot of people. For at least I like it for forecasting as a portfolio, is how I use it. But here's our active inventory. I like to look at it even though they're in here and you can click on each individual property, I like to look at it on just an Excel sheet format.
I'm scared of Florida, man. I can't do it. Even though I have 44 units in Lakeland, I only own 2%, but I'm just like freaked out with all the hurricanes.
Well, we have a lot of ground up projects, and these are a lot of ones we're personally building in Southwest Florida and Cape Coral. And yeah, you just had 2 back-to-back hurricanes.
Yeah.
But the thing is like we had 0 damage, and we have over 800 projects with our investors that are doing ground up in Cape Coral and surrounding areas. I think there were 2 of them that needed insurance claims that were due to wind, and they were very minimal out of all of those. But these are concrete block homes. They can withstand up to 150 mile per hour winds. They're inland, so they're not right on the coast, so usually hurricanes dissipate. But the big thing in Florida where people are getting hammered is insurance. Not, those are older homes that are in flood zones. Stay out of flood zones and new construction in the right area and have good insurance. But our insurance increased from like $900 over the past 3 or 4 years, where there's these crazy increases. It went from like $900 to $1,200 on a single family house.
Oh, that's not that bad, dude.
No, I mean, you hear these horror stories about people going 3, 4x in insurance. Those are older homes and often areas that are reconverted to flood zones.
So I'm looking at some kind of credit, and there's also a post credit. What's going on? What's the immediate equity in that?
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about previously. So these are all the builder incentives right now, and this is our inventory list, but we have significantly more that are beyond this. But these are examples because there's often
Is that accessible to public? Like, did you just click it off the website?
Yeah, it is.
You just publicly put all the discounts and stuff right there. You're like, Okay,
We're transparent. I mean, we don't negotiate on prices. It is what it is. Like the cash flow is there. If it makes sense for you, great. If not, great. I mean, we're here to, but on the turnkey properties, it's right here. This is all inventory. It's all public. You click here and you go to this sheet. These are all off-market deals. Some of them are our builds. Majority of them are from national builders that we've negotiated.
So what does that mean if you say $10,000 post credit available, and then there's also a 17% something on the right side? What is that?
Our ROI and our cash flow is always being analyzed.
Okay, nice. Okay, cool.
With a conventional loan in place, right? So if someone's putting 20, 25%
Sure.
down,
Yeah. Okay. That's standard. Yeah.
That's what we're showing these cash flow numbers at. You have a brochure here where you can go in and actually look at these in greater detail, and then actually see like the pro forma. I don't know why this isn't showing in a
I see. So you're
view.
saying that you get that kind of immediate equity because you're saying it's going to appraise more. Is that how you're saying that?
Well, here's the thing. Like this model, let's use this one for example.
Okay.
So this is a more expensive home. This is an
Okay.
A-class
I'm
area.
buying, dude. All my new builds are 470. So this is like better.
It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
Relative to the other prices we have, this would be an expensive home because some of them are mid 200s. So this one's 380. Basically, what we're saying here is that you get a 9% that you get to work with however you want. This builder will sell this property for $380,000 on the retail market, and actually likely more than that to a retail buyer, because builders always increase their prices over time as they get, usually, unless they got a backdate of inventory. But like the market, if you were to go to retail, you would buy this house at 380 because of the relationship we've developed in our community as a whole, buying lots of houses at once, because this is not one we're building. This is from a national builder. You can take basically 9% and use it however you want. So 9% of this
You're getting 36,000.
Pretty, yeah. I put up 34,000. So basically you use it however you want. You can take it as a price reduction. The home will still appraise at 380. You get immediate equity. Great. Most people are taking it, and this is where this is different from really any other even builder that I've seen out there. This 9% you can get as a cash back at close.
But right? How though? You can't get that for like loans.
Why? With a lender? Yeah. Most lenders, conventional lenders, stop you at a 2% post-closing credit, right? That's their limit. You can do it at closing where you have builder credits on the statement, but how we're doing it is a managerial credit post-close. So you close on it, you got to have the capital up front to close. 9% of that is coming back to you as a managerial credit immediately.
Can I use that to buy down the rate at close?
Yeah, you can use that 9% however you want. Yep. So, and it can be a tweak of a few different things, right? If you wanted to, because it depends. Some people want immediate equity. If they want a lower loan amount, if they want to cash flow better, or maybe they plan to refi.
It sounds like I can buy that house for free right now. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't. Then it doesn't make. What's the catch then, right? I mean, I could get 5% down, get 10% back. I bought it for free.
You certainly could. I mean, again, a 5% down loan at 95% leverage, you're going to be negative cash flow on this one because you have 95% leverage, but maybe you're buying it because you're a real estate professional and you want tax benefits. I literally just did a presentation with this high income this guy earns over $1 million a year, and his wife is real estate professional status because they have a bunch of real estate stuff they do. But he's like, I'm going to have a $600,000 tax issue this year. And like, we got to close before the end of the year. So we walked through and showed him how we're using multiple of these properties because with the credit unions, they usually limit you at 5. You buy 5 properties with 5% down. And then, we're matching him with these type of properties where he'll use the 5% to cover his cash back. And then the remaining credits he'll use to cover like closing costs and buy the rate down. So they have a little bit better cash flow. But the ones you're only putting 5% down on, those are likely negative cash flow. But he's okay with that because he's using those to do the cost segregation, right? On a $300,000 house, we usually have cost segs coming around 30%. That's a $100,000 tax deduction at 100% bonus depreciation. So we're at 60% this year. So $60,000 is kind of what you would expect this year on buying this house with no money down. So he's okay with taking a little bit of a loss every month on cash flow to have a $60,000 deduction on his taxes. He lives in California, which is, he's in the highest tax bracket. So, he's talking 43, 45% total taxes that he would pay on that money otherwise.
So Zach, I have a question. So let's say I'm gonna be like going deep on this sheet. I'm not even playing. Because my family, my dad is flying back to India right now, and then we got a bunch of stuff there. We got to get out of those assets, and we're gonna invest it here in the U.S. But now if I only like A properties, I'm very bougie. Let's just say, how will I do that? Is that a thing I can click and say prime properties or something? I'm
Yeah,
looking for
and
prime properties, MTRs. I'm going to furnish them. I can make them break even. I know
so,
how to
and if
do
you
it.
want to go the MTR route, your ROI and you're okay like self-managing those, like some
Yes.
stuff in like Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the U of A is, you don't see it on here, but we have some of those. Like there's some, that's an offline conversation we can have where we could like look more at those specific areas that we know will perform better as MTRs or wherever you pull your data, if it's AirDNA or what's the other, Furnish Finder,
Yeah.
what's the one we use?
Pad split
Pat, no, it's I met the guys at Pat Split at the conference recently, but the pricing tool that we use,
Oh, okay. Price
Price
Labs.
Price Labs, thank you.
Yeah.
However you pull your data and run those, I mean, we can look at some of those, but if you pull up these markets, like this is from a national builder that these are quality houses. Like this one would be considered an A-class area, and it's a 5-bed, 2.5 bath.
And where is that? Tuscaloosa?
This one's in Pinson. I believe it's right outside of Birmingham area. I actually don't do the acquisitions. I have a whole team that does that for our team now that actually would probably speak closer to exact details on all of these. It's hard for me to even keep track of all the markets that we have currently. But for example, this is one where you can run through the pro forma and look at, what rent's going to be. Some of these are rented right now. Like these ones are all rented, exactly what the rent's going to be, and they're already operating. These ones are properties that are either going to be sold retail or to investors. So, I mean, we have rent comps and things like that. But you can run through the pro forma down on here, and run your own numbers, of course, and you're obviously familiar with that at this point. But it gives you an idea of what the type of asset is and how we can structure that 9%. But at the end of the day, you got 9% on this one to use however you want. You can use that rate buy down, cash back at close, price reduction, combination of all the above.
I see. That's cool, man. I mean, that's really exciting. I could just if I put, let's say, 20% down, which is not a lot. These are less than 300 grand. And then I get like 10, 15% back. I could use it to buy down the rate, and I could even break even and cash flow maybe a couple bucks at long term, right? Looks like.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going 20% down, these should certainly be positive cash flow. If you're using a conventional loan, yes.
Now, I'll be honest with you. My sister, me, we're all jacked up on, we ain't qualifying for, I have DTI of 100%, like it's over. So these will be non-QM then, right, for us?
Yeah, and that's normal, right? I mean, you're out there, you're moving and shaking and hustling and making real estate deals happen. So, I mean, if we got to go the DSCR route and look at some other loan option, so be it. We've ran our numbers based on conventional loans, but of course, you can use whatever calculators you have or some of ours and analyze whatever those loan structures look like. I mean, we don't care what lender you use, right?
So yeah, so it looks like also I can use my own lender too.
Yeah, I mean, we're here to help you acquire assets, right? You can use whatever
Oh,
lender you
dude, I
want.
got like homies, dude, who hook me up for these
Well,
things.
there
So
you
let's
go.
say, listeners listening, or I might not put it out. Maybe I'll keep it as premium content, whatever it is. But I would say if they want to look at this, the easiest way it looks like is I do the price, the highest price. I'm going to assume is going to be a neighborhood, and then I click the brochure to make sure it says A on it.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the qualifying criteria, right? The pro formas, remember that's year one performance at a year one.
Yes, I got
We
it.
don't
Yeah.
have maintenance on our pro forma for year one because you have builder warranty on everything. So just, let's get that out of the way and understand, like run your own numbers, but we have information on that justifies the numbers input, right? The pro forma is year one analysis. If you want to start forecasting for year 3 through 5, go to the wealth tracker and like put in a 2% or 3% expense increase over time, right? Put in whatever vacancy percentage you want. Average occupancy time we're seeing is 2.5 to 3 years, so that's why we're running the vacancy at, 4% or whatever we are on there. But yes, you can go and look at the pro forma here and it shows you, it just has more property information. Some of these we don't have addresses on because there's multiple of them available. Like I think there's 4 or 5 of these specifics. So there's going to be, you know, and there's properties you're selling every day, more inventories come in, properties selling. So you have to just speak with your rep about what your criteria is, and once you identify it, then, you know, you reserve it and go through the normal purchasing process with appraisal, inspection, title work, etc.
And you don't have like a preferred lender and all that. You
I
don't.
mean, we do. I mean, look, we've negotiated fees with a lot of the lenders that we work with because, again, it's a volume play. So we've been able to, with a lot of these lenders, like our preferred lender, North American Financial, for the conventional products, they charge $900 flat. That's the only loan fee for our clients. Most, you know, whatever they want to call it, origination fee, or,
No, that's cheap. I already know that.
yeah, whatever fees they want to add in there and whatever they want to call them. Most lenders are charging thousands of dollars for closing costs. Our preferred lender is $900 for our clients because we've been able to negotiate the volume discounts with them, and they don't charge you at all if you refinance within 2 years. There's a high likelihood of refinancing if rates continue to drop. So we've negotiated lower fees with certain lenders and things like that, but you don't have to use them. But we do have lenders for you to use.
And what is your preferred management companies like in Alabama looks like? What do they charge? Like under 10?
Yeah, I mean, industry standard's 10, but, you know, we're seeing 7-8% is usually the standard for, again, we've negotiated that down. And if you're an investor that is buying multiple, I think there's even further negotiation that we can leverage there as well.
So you would recommend, let's say for me, my family, my friends who are listening, they don't really need a lot of cash flow, but let's just say we got a couple bucks. You would recommend Alabama over NCSC, you think?
You know, I would say the areas that we have the most, you can obviously, there's a ton of Alabama here, right? And these
Yeah,
are
I
from
see that.
multiple builders. Some of these are ours. Florida, we have quite a bit in as well, and have some very strong models there. So this is, I mean, we don't have anything Tennessee. We have a duplex and a fourplex in San Antonio and Texas here. Here's your Georgia model. These are rehabbed houses in the Midwest. We don't have a ton of those because we mainly focus on build to rent. But the areas that we really like, I mean, look, there's a lot of different models or different locations that are better for different reasons. There's a lot of consideration that needs to be given on where specifically, but generally speaking, these all are going to be areas that, yeah, we're below that median house price point. There's an undersupply of houses. There's high demand. We're seeing rents increase every single year. We're still seeing appreciation. Even over the past 2 years, we've been seeing appreciation in these areas. So there's general good economics in all these locations that we've seen and researched. But certain locations are probably going to be better conducive or more conducive to one person over the other based on whatever criteria, right? Maybe someone doesn't want to buy a $379,000 house, so they're looking for, you know, a Midwestern property a property in a different part of Alabama that can buy for, you know, 260 or something like that. That's more affordable. So it just really depends on each investor and what they're looking for. And our goal is to help you build like a criteria and a buy box and match the right location with your goals and criteria.
And I like to usually when I go in, I like to buy a few or, so is there like somewhere that you're considering building more or you're already building more?
All these areas have multiple assets. Yeah.
Also, this is not, I thought these are the only ones you have available. Everything else is sold, or no, it's not the case.
No, I mean, for like all these models here, there's probably a handful still left. I mean,
Oh,
come Monday,
nice.
maybe a different story, but there's never,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we move a significant amount of volume of houses, and so it's advantageous to have the same deal. Now they're not right next door to door, right? This is not
Yeah,
a
that's fine.
community of builds. They're infill, and we like that because we want a good mix of residential homeowners as well as tenants, not just a block of tenants. I mean, it's better for everyone, and maintains the value of the house better if there's a good mix of homeowners in there. But yeah, there's multiple of the same opportunities here.
And it's possible you said to do MTR, STR there
On
when they move
some,
out.
I think, look, you can do, it's your house. You can do whatever you want with. What I would recommend is there's certain locations where there's probably going to be better results going MTR. Some of these areas, they're just good as, you know, long-term rentals. Or maybe we haven't researched them enough, but we certainly know there's some areas that are going to be better short-term, mid-term, or a hybrid approach that you've been successful with. Tuscaloosa is a good example of that. Previously, I think some of these areas like where did I see it? I'm looking at Florida. Oh, we don't have these on here anymore. Dundee is a good area. The Pensacola area. outside of Orlando, actually, that's an area that could do very well with short-term rental because it's going to be much more affordable, and Orlando just has a lot to offer. There's short terms now. It's extremely regulated, but anyways, yes, I mean, it's probably a deeper conversation to say what areas make sense for those MTRs.
And who should I contact, or my friend should contact, who listen to go to the next step? Like, I'm sure you're busy, so somebody else you got on your team?
Yeah, and look, I'm happy to dive in and spend some time, especially if it's a group of people and we need to go through that. But we have investment strategists that help investors go through and map out these plans. So, and any one of those investment strategists are very knowledgeable, and they're all investors themselves. Adam is the most experienced. So I would, like, for you personally, I would push you towards Adam. That's just Adam at Rent to Retirement, or I can make an email introduction, and he's going to be the guy that's going to give you the most experienced information.
And then you're just Zach at Rent to Retirement?
No, actually, I don't. And I don't know if I give this out publicly, but that's not even in actual email, because then I'd just be inundated with stuff. But my direct email is the one that's on the calendar invite. It's just invest@renttoretirement.com.
All right, so I would email Adam and copy you.
Yeah,
and we'll chat. Yeah, I have to buy one more deal this year because of taxes for my family. If I don't end up buying in Tennessee, then I would definitely have to buy something. So we'll talk something. And next year I will be buying a few for sure.
Our goal every single year personally is to buy enough real estate every single year to write off all of our taxes. It's getting harder as the bonus depreciation is cutting down.
Yes.
But we've been able to do that for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's been dramatically impactful. So I hear you, and yeah, we're here to help you however we can.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for answering all these questions patiently. And if people go to your website, Rent to Retirement, they can find all these different options, or do they have to get on a call to find out the loan options and all that stuff?
Yeah, so they can visit, as you mentioned, renttoretirement.com. That's retirement.com. If you're listening in the car, you can text REI to 33777 to set up a call with our team. We don't charge investors anything. We make our money through building and selling houses. So we're here to help you build a strategy. We provide a lot of content out there. Just if you want to peruse our website, inventory is publicly available to view. We've got a lot of market data and research. We have investment calculators, stuff that will help you forecast out to plan your future retirement date. We have our own podcast and YouTube that has a strong following. So we just put out a lot of content about all things real estate and hope to add value to anyone. But if you are interested in working with our team, set up a call and just ask questions, learn about the markets. Our goal is to add value to every single person we speak with.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And just to get in touch with you, do you have an email or an IG, or just the website?
Go to the website. That's got all our social channels. Or again, if you want to text REI to 33777, that's your starting point, and we promise we'll shoot you in the right direction.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, man. Coming on the podcast.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I definitely like to see 5-star reviews on any service or any product before I purchase. Please take a second to leave us a 5-star review, whether you're listening to it on Apple, iTunes, or Spotify, or whatever platform. Take a second, goes a long way, helps us a lot to grow the channel, and thanks for listening.